Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to have a candid conversation and a deeply personal one where I want to share with you how I healed my painful menstruation. If you've ever struggled with painful menstruation, heavy cramps, and emotional distress during your menstrual cycle, just know that I see you, sister. I've been there too. But now I can proudly say that I love my menstrual cycle. I really do. Just a disclaimer. This is not going to be a video where I'll give you a quick fix or a magic trick to make your menstruation pain go away overnight. This is not that. Healing your menstrual cycle is a sacred journey. It's part of your feminine healing journey, one that requires patience, self love, and deep reconnection with your feminine essence. But trust me when I say it is so worth it. So if this is something you're interested to know, stay here with me as I walk you through my journey, my whole process, the steps I took to reach at this stage, as I'm going to share everything about what truly transformed my relationship with my menstrual cycle. So before we start, I want to share a little something. Ever since my first menstrual cycle, my periods used to be painful. Not all 5 days, but first 2 days were horrible. So I moved to Dubai in 2018 from India. And I remember I carried multiple packs of a painkiller called Menstrual. So if you're an Indian woman listening to me, I'm sure you know what this medicine is. And it was the gentlest painkiller available in India. So they said, but every medicine, every painkiller impacts your liver, your gut health, right? And I remember the day I was purchasing those packets of this painkiller, and my father saw me at the pharmacy, and he was shocked to see how many packets I was buying. And he questioned me. And he said that it is not good for your health. But I couldn't imagine going through my cycle without this painkiller. And I wasn't sure if I would find this medicine or something similar, which was gentle yet effective in Dubai. So I did what I had to do. I got a lot of it. But looking back, I now realize how disconnected I was from my body, from my feminine body. I saw my periods and the pain as inconvenience, something to just deal with rather than understand it and honor it. But the real shift for me happened when I decided to finally pay attention to healing my feminine energy. I got onto the path of healing my feminine within me, and I decided to embrace my feminine physiology rather than fight it. Let me share with you what all steps I took and what was the journey like for me. So the first step for me was to changing my belief system, which was about shifting my mindset. So if you think your periods are something dirty or burdensome and painful, your body will respond accordingly. Our menstrual cycle is sacred. The blood that flows out is not a waste. It is sacred. It carries wisdom. It's cleansing and it's renewal. And when I understood this for the first time, starting from that month, everything started changing for me. And at this point, I knew that it was not just about fixing my painful menstruation cycle. When I saw the sacredness in my blood, it changed everything for me. So, listening to this, if you feel you're getting triggered, I really want to challenge that you challenge your own belief system. Do you consider yourself as impure when you're in your menstruation, or do you see the sacredness in your whole being when you're going through the process? Once you challenge that mindset, you will see how your body will start responding to your internal belief system. Step 2 was to understand my feminine physiology, A to Z. I was sure about that. I wanted to fall in love with my feminine physiology. I no longer wanted to ignore it. I wanted to honor myself fully. So I decided to learn about my cycle like I was getting to know about it like a student, as if I was discovering it for the first time. I studied the 4 phases that a woman's body goes through every month and what happens to us during these 4 phases: your menstrual phase, your follicular phase, your ovulatory phase, and your luteal phase. And I educated myself like a new student how our hormones fluctuate during each phase. But apart from the biological aspect, which you can easily find information about by going through different books or the resources that are available on YouTube as well, I understood that our womb space is a sacred portal. Women are blessed with menstruation. And our womb space is not just a physical organ, it's a beautiful sacred portal through which you literally are birthing souls into this universe on earth. So you are actually direct in communication with the creator energy through this space in your body. And from this space, you're not just giving birth to a human life, you're giving birth to your projects, your dreams, your aspirations, your desires, and all your creative projects. So when I started honoring my womb as not just a physical organ, but as a sacred container, as a sacred space, I felt deeply connected to my feminine. And I also felt this entirely new level of confidence in myself and a whole new level of self awareness. This realization was simply beautiful. And step number 3 that I took for myself in my journey was to heal my menstrual story. So, to heal my relationship with my periods, I revisited the first menstrual cycle that I experienced. I took myself through a deep introspective exercise, a deep journaling exercise. I wrote down everything about what exactly happened that day, who was around me, and how did they receive me when this happened. And I identified all the fear, shame, confusion, or any negative association that were stored within me, everything that I had unknowingly absorbed that day. And I questioned everything about what I was taught about menstruation. My elders and the women around me believed about menstruation cycle. Were their beliefs empowering or limiting? And did they affect my understanding of menstruation? And once I was done, I took myself through a deep embodiment exercise. I connected with the teenage version of me, the girl, the innocent girl who felt a bit of shame, fear, confusion, and all these kind of emotion that she went through. And I simply witnessed her and held space for her. And as I was feeling all those emotions, I allowed myself to release those emotions from my system. Anything and everything about the old conditioning stored in me about menstruation from my body. So whether it was something personal that I perceived during that time or something that I absorbed through the culture that I have been raised in, I kept feeling and releasing everything from me. I let myself cry, I let myself grieve. And by the end of it, I felt like there was something major that was released from my system. And this is not just a one time practice for me, I must mention. I did a few times. Every time I wrote down everything about the experience that I missed in my previous writing, I found different things to be released and I went through the whole process again. This basically allowed me to release layers of shame every time I did this practice. And I felt physically that a lot was released and dissolved from my body. And once I was done with the embodiment practice, I did something special. I went into my meditation and I requested an older feminine soul from my maternal lineage to come forward to hold me. Whoever was ready, whoever saw the menstruation cycle as an empowering process, I wanted that nurturing energy through this soul. And I felt it. I experienced the warmth and then I just let it go. I highly recommend you try this process. It's going to change your life. Now, step 4 for me was to introduce sacred self care practices, sacred feminine self care practices into my life. True feminine self care isn't just about taking care of your skin, hair, nails, or dressing in feminine clothing. It goes deeper, it goes beyond the surface. These things are very important, being a woman, but if you really want to connect with your feminine essence, you want to honor your whole vessel like you are a goddess. It's about deeply nurturing and caring for the parts of us that hold suppressed emotions. So, what I did was I divided my routine into daily non negotiables and weekly non negotiables. So, two of my daily non negotiables are breast massage and womb massage. Our body stores emotions, suppressed emotions, in various parts of it. But for women, our pelvic region, this pelvic area, stores a lot of suppressed energy, and that affects the flow of blood during your menstruation. Hence, it's really important to massage your womb space, and it helps us release the blockages from this area when you massage it, which obviously helps you regulate your cycle. Now, since we're talking about menstruation, you would wonder why breast massage then? Let me draw something for you. I'm not sure it's visible or not, and I think it's the mirror image of what I've written. but this is your throat, your heart. Oh my God. Anyways, and this is your womb. And it's very interesting to know that your heart, throat, and womb are very much connected energetically. And our breasts are the extension of our heart space. And massaging them is not just good for the health of your breasts, which is an important part of your feminine physiology, but it also helps open the heart space, which helps dissolve the blockages in this area in the heart space. And this helps regulate the energy flow between the womb and throat through the heart channel. As I said, these are my daily non-negotiables, and I do it every day before I take shower. It is extremely relaxing. Now, my weekly non-negotiable is yoni steam. I do this weekly, sometimes with herbs, sometimes with plain water. It relaxes your pelvic floor, this area, and it cleanses the yoni, which is your vaginal canal, physically. It cleanses it physically, as well as your womb space energetically. Just a disclaimer, you need to avoid this step if you are pregnant or if you're planning to get pregnant, and if you have an IUD placed inside, or if you have an active infection, and also when you're menstruating. And I also avoid it during my ovulation. Step 5 for me was the changes that I made in my workout schedule. I love to strength train. I love gym. But earlier I used to push myself regardless of how I felt. That's what I was used to doing. But once I started becoming really comfortable with this relationship with my body, and it started to open up and started speaking to me, I realized that I needed to align my workouts with my cycle. And I noticed as I started doing that, my body started responding positively and it started speaking to me even better. And even my workouts became better. And I realized that my body was getting stronger as I aligned my workouts with my cycle. So when I'm menstruating, day 1 and 2, I go into my cave. I do not work out at all, even if I have a lot of energy. And sometimes I do have, ever since I've healed this relationship, I know that first 2 days are not that bad for me, but I take complete rest. I do some pelvic floor movements, some gentle feminine movements to regulate the blood. Else, I do nothing. I do not bring any kind of masculine drive during first 2 days. And during rest of the phases, I stay in complete awareness of what my body wants, what my feminine physiology is asking for. And then I plan my workout accordingly. Some women find it really difficult to work out during luteal phase, which is just before a menstruation cycle. But in my case, I've understood that luteal phase is the longest for me. And it is divided into 2 halves. During first half, I'm super active. I have a lot of energy. I do not feel any kind of lethargy, and I'm able to give close to my 100% during first half of the luteal phase. And then my body starts to slow down as I reach the late luteal cycle. In fact, I feel more lethargic during the ovulation cycle, specific 2 days. I know when they come, and I know when my energy level suddenly goes down. I know that I'm ovulating and my body is sending all the energy in that process, in the process of releasing egg, and it's asking for rest. It is very interesting to understand your own menstrual cycle, and it's different for every woman. And once you start to become this intimate with your body, you will see how your cycle is so different than others. Step number 6 is nervous system regulation and embodiment work. This is what I've understood in my healing journey, right from the beginning, which was years back, that feminine energy thrives in a well-regulated body. Our menstrual cycle reflects the state of our nervous system, how well-regulated it is. The more dysregulated we are, the more intense PMS and period pain can be. And ever since I allowed myself to connect with my feminine energy and incorporate daily embodiment practices to release the stored emotions from my body, included womb breath work, pelvic floor movements, I realized that my menstrual cycle became even gentler. So regular nervous system regulation practices played a major role in calming down my whole body. It made a huge difference to heal my painful menstrual cycle. Since I mentioned about PMS, I wanted to say something here. I do not experience PMS anymore. And I remember I used to experience PMS as well, like a lot of us do. But as I started healing this relationship with my menstrual cycle, as I have explained, taking all those steps and going through the healing process, I remember the month when I did not experience PMS at all. And I suddenly got my menstruation and I was confused that why? How did it happen? Because I used to know that I'm approaching my menstrual cycle because of the PMS symptoms that I used to go through. So yes, it is magical. Okay, I've explained these steps step by step, but this is not a step by step process. You will be doing everything all together. I have divided it into steps so that I can explain it better here on the YouTube video, and also so you can actually take all the notes and decide which point you would like to start your journey with. Now, there's a very important step that I forgot, but we can put it in step 7 now, is to track your cycle. You have apps, you can track your cycle through your apps, but you can also have your own calendar where you can start tracking your menstrual cycles, starting with just menstruation. And as you go deeper, you will learn about different phases, and you'll also start observing yourself and the changes that your body goes through during those phases. Then you can bring all the phases together into your calendar and see how you move through the entire month. Now, step number 8 is switching to menstrual cups. I never liked pads. I switched to tampons. For a while, I felt okay, but that also didn't feel right for me. Although tampons felt a little better than pads. But after a few months of using them, I realized, what am I doing? Why am I putting this thing inside my vagina? A product full of chemicals going inside of me? I just felt the cringe. So I started exploring about menstrual cup. So I switched to menstrual cup, but I had to go through a lot of practice because it's not easy to use. You really have to study yourself when you decide to use a menstrual cup. The first time I used the cup, although my pain was already reducing, I didn't have to take any painkillers anymore. But that month, it was like, oh my God, I don't feel it anymore. I'm very well aware that there are mixed reactions about menstrual cup as well. And I'm actually doing my own research on that. But for me, in this stage of my life, it's been life-changing. I also tried period panties, but for me, they almost felt like pads. So I did not continue using them. Now, some women also believe in free bleeding, but that is not an option for me with the kind of lifestyle I'm into right now. Now, sister, here, the key is to find what works best for you. Now, step 9 is very powerful, which was to make my period cycle, menstrual cycle, as a spiritual practice. Menstruation is a time of release. It's a death process that's happening through your body. So basically, the body is literally going through the death and rebirth cycle. So I decided I wanted to create a personal practice for myself. Actually, before I started this practice, I observed myself for a few months about how every time, every month, we get emotional, right? Which is considered as part of the PMS. It's because it's PMS, right? But that is not it. It's the body's intelligence helping you release something from your life, release those stuck emotions, or maybe relationships, or anything from your life that has served its purpose and you're ready to let go of. So what I do during my bleed is I consciously let go of things. I allow myself to release things from my life, from the previous month or months or whatever years, whatever is coming on the surface, any emotional baggage, any limiting belief, anything that my soul really wants me to release from my reality, and even clutter from my physical space. So journaling during this time is so powerful, especially starting from your luteal phase, which is closer to menstruation, last few days of luteal phase. This transition from luteal to menstruation, there's a lot happening in your quantum field and your body, which has all the information. It's like your body and universe, they both are literally giving you messages and asking you to go through the release process, go through the death process. I included this release practice, this kind of journaling, religiously into my life. And I remember I dedicated a journal starting August 2023, and then there was a journal dedicated specifically for 2024. In fact, I created my special journal that helps you track your life as per the phase you're in. It's a very special journal that I created, and I created it after I observed my own journaling journey in 2024 and what came through each month and how I transformed moving through each month. When I reviewed it at the end of 2024, I was shocked and I decided I need a journal of my own. So I'm going to speak about that journal maybe in some next video. And I'll also be creating a dedicated video on my full spiritual process that I go through every month during my periods. So stay tuned. So this has been my journey, and it goes deeper and deeper as I'm going deeper into my feminine energy and healing the aspects of it that I know still needs healing. And as I am going deeper, I'm also evolving this process. So probably in the future videos, we'll talk about some more points. But for now, this is what I can give you, you can start healing your relationship with your menstruation cycle using these points. And I want to say again, I am in love with my cycle because I'm in love with the feminine energy, the feminine within me. I no longer experience period pains. I also don't experience PMS anymore. And I want to say again, PMS is not normal. And I'm going to repeat it. The first time I experienced my bleed without PMS, without going through PMS, I was like, what? Where did the PMS phase go? It was funny. Now, if you're ready to heal your relationship with your cycle and your body, I have put together a self-paced journey with all the practices that helped me, which will help you heal your relationship with your body. It's called Healing the Feminine Body. If you want to know more about it, you can check the link in the description. And if you have any questions about what I discussed, please drop your questions in the comments, and I promise I'll get back to you. I'll see you in the next video. Sending you so much love.